for our community. The city of Roma is here to present, and I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Alfonso Ramirez with the City of Roma Economic Development Corporation.
Thank you, Ms. Guillen. I would like to start this presentation with some recognition first to the RGB Partnership for what they do for our region. It is true that when they say one region, one voice, and I want to give a special recognition to the city of Rio Grande for their developments, for their constant effort in bringing the best for their community, and now bring us in as part of that saying one region, one voice. Right? Before the presentation, I don't know if Mayor, you want to introduce or you want to say something?
No, I think that's
We're good?
you might go ahead.
So today's presentation is called Realize Roma. We chose that name because that's the name of our comp plan. We already have a comprehensive plan for the future, so we know more or less how the development of our city is going to look like. The City of Roma wants to share with you information about our community profile, brief history, location. Want to share with you our economic profile. Want to share with you investment opportunities related to the commercial operations of our port of entry. Want to talk about the industrial park and the secondary examination station at the industrial park that's going to be the anchor of the project. Want to talk about the demand for apartments, hotels, subdivisions, housing units in general. I want to talk about the availability of long-term leases of historical buildings through the Roma Preservation Partnership. So Roma, Texas was established as a town in 1765, incorporated as a city in 1936. We have, it's a niche of cultural, economic, and social diversity. Our economic activity has always been related to trade. Traditionally, it's been related to trade, and sometimes it's gone to the legal side, but it's always related to trade. And now that we're seeing a surge in trade from Mexico to the United States, Roma is picking up some of that momentum as well. Our community profile starts with our location. We're centrally located. We're 50 miles from McAllen, 90 miles south of Laredo, within 100 miles of Monterrey. We have a very effective, accessible route to come into the United States through Roma. Roma location as an international port of entry generates a tremendous amount of passengers and commercial traffic. We're connected to I-2, I-35, and I-69C via the US Highway 83. And we also want to start promoting Highway 16, which is an increasing option for people that are traveling up north. Next. Demographics. In 2021, the City of Roma hired a professional marketer for retail. They made a study and they concluded that Roma's area of influence extends beyond Roma's city limits. They call it, and we call it, the Roma, Texas retail trade area. It encompasses more or less the development, in between the US 83 and what's gonna be the State Loop 195. Here there's a mistake, they go all the way to FM 3157. It's actually de los Alvarez un poquito para allá. Okay, so all of that, it's not within city limits, but it's related to the City of Roma because we provide most of the utility services to that area, and because they can go either way, to Rio or to Roma, right? Next to the retail trade area, we have the Roma, Texas, Mexico retail trade area. It's about 18,000 people that live in the Mexican side, and about 50 to 60% of them cross and consume in our communities. Next. Those are some of the developments that were there in 2021. We have the addition of another Dollar General, as well as in this area. Next. Roma's economic profile. In this retail trade area, there's about 27,000 people. The median age is very similar to the county and to Rio Grande, it's 29 years of age. 33 is the average age. It's consistent with Starr County statistics. The average household income is $31,597 for the retail trade area, for Roma and that area outside city limits. The total value of commercial crossings in 2023 was $643 million. It's a very significant two-digit increase compared to last year. And we're also up in sales tax revenue. Also, something that's important to mention, sometimes we overlook it, is that we are an opportunity zone. Opportunity zones under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 allows investors to defer capital gain taxes by investing in a distressed community, like an economically distressed community. We want to get the word out because we are an opportunity zone and there's huge tax incentives for the people that come and invest in our communities. Investment opportunities in Roma, Texas. The state of Texas is considered one of the top economies in the world, while the Rio Grande Valley is one of the top performers in economic growth and development in the state. Roma, Texas refuses to fall behind. City's mayor, council, administration, and economic development corporation are identifying investment opportunities within our sphere of influence for two main reasons: to become an ally of the firms that intend to invest in our community, and to promote economic and social mobility within our community. The focus of our city's leadership is to exploit the competitive advantages offered by our privileged geographic location, the significant growth of our port of entry operations, the direct access to abundant natural resources, the green energy projects within our extraterritorial jurisdiction, and the high demand for residential development. Those are the areas that we have identified. There is already a need, and we anticipate that there will be a growing need in the near future. What's the physical capital in Roma, Texas? Our port of entry is the biggest asset that we have, and we need to take care of it. Our community was stagnant for some years because people failed to acknowledge the importance of the port of entry. Now, not only city leaders and county leaders see the importance, also citizens, common citizens start to see that it's important to take care of the port of entry, and that the trade community and the trade industry is a high value industry. Obviously, the Las Americas Roma Logistics and Industrial Park, it is a $10 million development. It has, in its first phase, 22 lots ranging from 2.5 to 12 acres. And then the anchor of the industrial park is going to be a secondary examination station, an additional $5 million investment. Those are already fully funded and are already under construction. We have, can you go back? Some green energy developments around the city of Roma, not yet inside city limits, but we are preparing ourselves to receive this trend as well. We're looking at clean energy developments popping up in Texas, in South Texas primarily. So we'll be ready to welcome those as well. And of course, our historical district, which is a national historical landmark, recognized at the federal level. Human capital, very common and very similar to what we have in Rio, to what we have in Starr County. We have young people, bicultural, bilingual, highly educated, and if not educated in college, highly skilled. We have very highly skilled workers in our community. Roma ASD has been a great contributor to this, and STC as well has been providing this economic and social mobility to our community. There is a dramatic increase in the operations, the commercial operations in our port of entry. You can see there that we started in 2018 with 891 commercial crossings, including pickup trucks. Now we have, this year, 2023, almost 36,000 commercial crossings with a value of $643 million. This is, since 2018, two-digit growth in our port of entry. And we anticipate that we will be growing these operations even further. So this takes us to the main project, the focus of the city of Roma in terms of economic development, which is our industrial park. The Las Americas Industrial Park is a necessity. The city leadership, the CVP, and the trade community, they started to recognize that there was no warehouses in our area, so our port of entry was falling short in terms of capacity. Another thing that was getting in the way of increasing the numbers of our port of entry is the lack of cold inspection facilities, right? So the industrial park is meant to end the limited space in our import law. So those issues are tackled, are solved by the industrial park. Okay, we're gonna provide heavy industrial zone lots for industrial developments. We're gonna have the secondary examination station offering cold inspections in 12 refrigerated bays. Right, we're gonna have there. We're gonna continue with the unified cargo processing there at the secondary examination station, and we're gonna offer additionally to that AMS inspection, USDA AMS inspection. For produce, that's something very important. There's no port of entry, no secondary examination station, and no centralized examination station that offers USDA AMS inspections. We will be able to offer that in our facility. So this is what we want people to talk about. This is what we talk about 24/7 in the city of Roma, and this is the message that we want you guys to take home and explore further, right? This development is gonna skyrocket the operations, the commercial operations of our port of entry. Next. As I said, 22 lots ranging in size from 2.5 to 12 acres. First stage is scheduled to receive $1.5 million in federal grants from the USDA Rural Development Fund and from the Economic Development Administration. The second phase, Congressman Cuellar earmarked about $1 million from the federal budget. This is the first stage of the park, the one delineated in red, and this is the first phase of the first stage. This one is scheduled to be finished by February 2024, the inner loop, right? And the secondary examination station here in Lot 18 should be ready by summer of 2024. That's a render of the secondary examination station. This facility is going to have 12 cold docks and 10 dry docks for inspection of goods, overflow parking lot for 24 trucks and a rest area for truck drivers, workspace for USDA, FDA, and ANAM, and it's going to have a singularity. The CBP building, the SES, is going to be connected to Lot 17A and 17B. So the warehouses, the investors that invest in Lot 17A and 17B will be able to create a pathway connecting their warehouses to the SES, to the secondary examination station. Can we go back one, please? Another one? Here, this is 17A, 17B, this is Lot 18. The SES is going to be here, and then there will be some pathways here connecting this. Next. Those are some pictures. We're not in the planning stage of this. We are actually building it. Today they poured some concrete in one of the streets, and they're also simultaneously working at the secondary examination station. This one is at the, go back please. This one is at the secondary examination station. This is the building where CBP is going to be located, and this is the street that they're working on right now. That's some drone footage from about 2 weeks ago, I think. Right now, the second portion of the street should be poured. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. The presentation has not ended yet, but I'm going to introduce our Planning and Zoning Director, Mr. Daniel Garza, valuable member of our team. He's going to talk about what comes after the industrial park, the opportunities that come when the industrial park is developed, when the trade industry has found its home in the city of Roma. Thank you for your attention, and thank you so much.
Garza, the Development Services Director for the City of Roma. It is my honor and my pleasure to be here in front of you today, sharing some valuable information for the growth and development of our community. So, before I start my part of the presentation, I just want to shine light on the opportunity that we all have here together, sharing something in common. And that is that we all are here because we took a chance one day. We took a chance to make a difference in our lives, and whether that's an academic chance or an investment chance, we all did something different to where we are here today. And I understand that we're all trying to make progress in our life to where we want to create a better future for our families, a better future for our friends, a better future for ourselves. So with that being said, I'm the Development Services Director, and I want to be a part of that chance that you all are willing to take and hopefully invest in the City of Roma. So after the completion of the secondary examination station in the industrial park, what comes next? We'll be having an increasing demand or an increasing movement of commercial traffic. So with that, we're going to be having an increasing demand for businesses such as grocery stores, logistic warehouses, restaurants, hotels, hospitality businesses, residential subdivisions, which we are in dire need of. And the department that considers, or the umbrella, which is a development services department, we will be there throughout every step of the way to ensure that any investor who wants to come in and create these opportunities for our community to live, to work, and to play will be there at ease. We want to make sure that the development happens as quickly as possible because we know time is money, and we value that a lot in the City of Roma. Next slide, please. There's a great demand for housing in Roma, and we understand that the majority of individuals there who are professionals or highly skilled workers, they lack housing. They're searching for opportunities to live in nice areas because they're wanting to be a better part of the community and bring their money in there. So we understand that once we have the secondary examination station in there, established, the need for the development of housing needs to occur. We see a demand already. Actually, this week we've been speaking to developers where they want to create subdivisions because they see the vision in the industrial park. And once this comes in, we also see the investment for multifamily complexes. We need apartments. We need different developments, and one of those opportunities is the implementation of a mixed-use district in the city. So we're working diligently with the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council to establish a new district called the mixed use, which will allow for entrepreneurs, developers to conjoin the establishment of businesses and residences throughout the City of Roma, which to me sounds like something that's completely overdue, especially as our mayor mentioned. We want for it to feel more historic in the sense that there's a better community in there, in which will give that Fredericksburg type of feel. Next slide, please. As far as the commercial traffic goes, or the connectivity to and from Roma, we have been granted a $5 million earmark from the House of Representatives, and it is destined to restore the existing and historic suspension bridge that is across Miguel Alemán and Roma, Texas. This earmark is intended to restore the bridge and allow for the demolition of the current pedestrian lanes in the concrete bridge to establish a third lane that is specifically only for commercial vehicles, which would alleviate a lot of the traffic issues that deal with pedestrian or passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles. We ultimately see this as being a game changer for the development of the industrial park and the connectivity between the port of entry and the industrial development. Alongside that information, the State Loop 195, as has been mentioned before, has begun the construction, and it is expected to alleviate the flow of commercial vehicles to travel more efficiently to State Highway 16 and Corridor 69. The City of Roma is working alongside with the Texas Department of Transportation to construct a corridor directly from the industrial park to Loop 195. In addition, we have annexed over 300 acres, and although this includes the industrial park, we intend to annex a lot more area that will also be zoned as industrial, which would allow for the development of more industrial land. I apologize. Next slide, please. And this is just a quick example of what our thoroughfare plan is within our comprehensive plan. As you can see here, the Las Americas Industrial Park is highlighted in blue. This dashed line is where we intend to create that connectivity between the industrial park and State Loop 195, which is a pretty long way to go, but we so far already have annexed up to the top portion of the blue figure. So I would say we're about halfway done. The remainder is the State Loop 195, which will allow for those connectivities of Corridor 69 and State Highway 16. The next slide shows the future land use plan that is also in our comprehensive plan. And this is a beautiful image because it shows our vision for Roma. There's all different sorts of pretty colors, and it might seem confusing. It is at times, but the beauty of this is that what I just mentioned about the annexation of the 300 acres and more is highlighted in this purple area. We're intending for this area to be considered industrial or zoned as industrial to allow for the development of more industrial buildings and properties. In addition, in conjunction with State Loop 195, this figure, also known as the lollipop, is going to be designated as industrial, which will have the connectivity directly between Roma and State Loop 195 for additional industrial developments. The yellow portions of the drawing, those are all the areas that we consider to be zoned as residential, so that we have new subdivisions coming in, residential subdivisions, as well as multifamilies, which, like I mentioned, we're in dire need of because we do see the demand. We see people seeking apartments, we see people seeking homes, and as a matter of fact, this year, this is a number that it strikes me as quite low, but since the beginning of the year, we've only had 23 building permits issued for new constructions. And 19 of those are for single family homes, 3 of those are for multifamily complexes. And to me, that's quite a low number compared to other counties. But the vision that we have is that those numbers are going to triple once the secondary examination station is complete and the continuation of the industrial park comes into the city. In addition, to tie this aspect of development in Roma, we have what is called the Roma Preservation Partnership. What this partnership is, it's a program, and it's designed to manage the properties owned by the city and the Roma EDC. What this allows is for the cooperation or collaboration between private investors and the city to establish a business or restore a historic building in exchange for a long-term lease and an affordable one as well. So let's say somebody wants to come in and they want to develop a gift shop in one of our stores. They're fond of our history and they find the historic district as one of their main targets for investing there. Once we have the lease agreements and the negotiations in place, they'll be able to restore the building on their own account, and the investments that they brought into that development or the building will be taken account as credit for the rent, which ultimately would allow for a very cheap rent in comparison to an already established business or a building. Some of the properties that we have available are the Manuel Guerra store, the Antonia Science House, the Rodriguez store, the Juarez Brick store, the Pablo A. Ramirez store, or house, the Coffee Pot, and Ramirez Hospital. The majority of these buildings are quite dilapidated, and so we're seeking investors who want to come in and restore these buildings to create opportunities for tenants to come in and establish their businesses, or for residents to come in and live in those homes. That would be an opportunity for them as well. These are some photos of these buildings that we currently have available, and the one you see on the left side is the Manuel Guerra building. This building was built in 1884 by an architect named Heinrich Porcella. He is a German architect who moved to the Roma area in the 1800s and has created many buildings that are beautiful, which are part of the Texas Historic Commission and marked as a National Historic Landmark as well. So the one on the right is the Antonia Science House. Next slide, please. We also have the Noah Cox, Bell Noah Cox, which is currently being used by a brewery called Rio Brewing Company. And it was previously in Rio Grande City, just moved to Roma, Texas, and it's one of the most innovative businesses that has come in recently, and it's the top of the town. People are invited to go there on weekends during the week to enjoy a nice brew, and it creates a lot of attraction for the city, for birders, winter Texans to go and visit the historic district as well. The other building, the Rodriguez store, is also dilapidated, which is an opportunity for somebody to come in and invest in the city. Next slide. The next one is the Nestor Science House, which is currently under agreement already, but we still like to promote it so that when it's ready, individuals are able to tour the city and the historic district and see the turnout for the building. Brick store on Juarez as well. These are all properties that are available in the partnership. Somebody wants to come in, invest, restore the building, you're welcome to do so as long as we have a business plan and we talk. We are creating an overhaul in the development services department to where we establish communication before anything happens. We want to make sure that no development occurs without the guidance from our city and from our staff to where you're able to transition into an easy development, an easy restoration of a building, and an easy establishment of a business. Same thing, Pablo Ramirez house. This is a beautiful home. It was previously resided in, but it's currently vacant, so it's still available for anybody wanting to create possibly an Airbnb or live in it, or possibly a boutique bakery or even a boutique. The coffee pot, it's a big building. It's a huge building that requires a lot of work. So anybody who has the guts, who has the financial capabilities, you're welcome to do so. Let's talk and see what we can do. Maybe we can have another restaurant there. Finally, the Ramirez Hospital, same thing. It's probably the same size as a coffee pot, but this used to be a hospital back in the day. Now we have interest from individuals wanting to see what the opportunities are for this building. And we encourage you all to come by the historic district, take a look at the buildings, and see what we can work out together. We're here to help you, we're here to encourage you, and like I said, we're all here in hopes that we take a chance. Thank you very much.